Okay, number 16 isn't too bad. It's actually pretty easy. You just may have forgotten. 24, that one's kind of a bummer. Here we go. Okay, this one's pretty easy if you understand what average rate of change means, okay? Average rate of change is the algebra 1 slope connecting 2 points, okay? Between which 2 points is the average rate of change the least. So we're looking for 2 points that we're going to connect with a negative slope, it's going to be the least, and the steepest negative slope. Okay, so between A and B, that's a negative slope. Between A and C is a more negative slope. Ooh, but what about between B and C? That's a negative slope as well. So eyeball it and figure out which one is the steepest negative. You could even do rise of a run, rise of a run, but I don't think that's necessary. Between B and C, that is definitely the steepest negative. So that should be D. Okay, this one is challenging, but also really, really common on the AP exam, and it's just a double chain rule. Most important, know where to put this cube. So our original function is really the cosine cube. But what is that really? It's the cosine of 4x minus 1. That whole quantity is cubed. Okay? Now, when you do the derivative of this, you're going to do a power rule chain rule. You might want to start by figuring out what is just the derivative of the inside, because that's going to be the thing that gets you. So I'm going to eventually need the derivative of the inside. So if you just had the derivative of this as your question, just that, that's a common, easy one. You know that, the derivative of that. Ignore the left side of this. Don't even look over here right now, okay? Just look at this and answer that question. The derivative of that would be negative sine of 4x minus 1 times the derivative of the inside, 4. Okay, well, keep that in mind. When you do the derivative of the inside in a minute, that's what you're going to need. So the derivative of this, or dy dx as they say, is derivative of the outside is my power rule. Leave the inside the same, subtract 1, times the derivative of the inside. Well, that's what we did over here. So now I need to say times that. Oh, look at that. That was convenient. I would normally never use a times symbol, but I'm being lazy. Now just smush it all together. The negative 4 and the 3 is going to make a negative 12 out front. Okay, so that takes care of that. And this, rewrite this cosine squared the way they had it originally. And I still have this sign right here. What I want you to try to remember is if it's a power rule with a cosine or a sine or a trig function, okay, where the stuff on the inside has a cosine or a sine, then you have to have both a cosine and a sine in your answer. That's going to happen every time. Okay? So it's the derivative of the outside, that's the power rule, leave the inside the same, times the derivative of the inside, but you might want to do the derivative of the inside first, because that's typically where people screw it up.